Hey Juventini, this is the All Juve cast. I'm Alberto, and today on Juve Today, we're going to talk the aftermath of the defeat to Napoli. Welcome. All right, so tough defeat yesterday to Napoli. In the aftermath, where do we stand? Interviews, reports, all this. Obviously, we did a full post-match podcast about an hour and a half after the match, which is available on YouTube, which you should check out, which is our panel discussing all of the topics. But basically, there was a slight little clash between Allegri and Spalletti. Spalletti talking to it in his post-match press conference, basically saying that he's never beaten Juventus, and the one time he does, they can't even give us any credit or whatever. And he said Allegri just simply walked away from him after the match. I don't really care anything about this, to be honest. And it's good to see a little fire out of Max, and he should be upset. And then Del Piero spoke about Juventus currently and saying they are no doubt, like undoubtedly, difficulties there and issues at Juventus. However, it has to be said that they were missing four starters, four key players who are difference makers. And this is the one thing I will say to Juventini, who are extremely frustrated after this loss to Napoli. Sure, it's upsetting. You can be frustrated. We have 1 point out of a potential 9 to start the season. But the one thing I personally take out of this so far is that that's 3 matches, and 3 matches we have yet to see our best 11. Not only that, but I absolutely fail to believe that Allegri will implement a complete defensive first mentality with this team when all of our regulars are available to him. I simply just will not believe it. I think there's much better football coming from this team once we see our key guys in there. The one thing I will say though is I disagree with Allegri in terms of Wojciech Szczesny and not playing Pedin upcoming. It has become a delicate situation with him waiting. However, it has to be done. Tech is in shambles right now, and he has to regroup. And to continue to put him in there, it's just not working because he hasn't fought through it for a whole season of subpar play. So it has to happen. That change has to be made because he's not saving us when we need him. Um, Moving on, again, this system just can't be it. I fail to believe that this is how we are going to play. And when I look at this match too and review it, once the emotions are separated and whatnot, there's a lot of good. And you have to start thinking about the other pieces that weren't there. Chiesa, Dybala, Quadrado. Of course, there were more, but let's just take this for instance. The beautiful work Manuel Locatelli did in the middle of the pitch. How many times did he break lines? Finding Bernardeschi out wide, finding Kulishevsky even inside there in the hole and whatnot. If he's finding that guy out on the wing, it becomes Quadrado, who can beat guys 1v1 in those situations. Whereas Bernardeschi is a more stop and look and distribute type player. Quadrado's burning those guys up, and it would created nightmares for Napoli. Dybala in the hole. He's finding Dybala. Maybe Morata slipping more often because there's just a different level of vision. No knock on Kulishevsky, but Kulishevsky has his part and he can do it as well. But again, I just think it's more foot on the gas. Danilo. If all of a sudden Danilo is available on one as a fullback, we get a little more support and a little more defensive sturdiness. Pellegrini was a little reluctant to take guys on and was kind of kept back at home. These are all things I think about and I see, and I just, again, I will reserve passing judgment on this particular Juventus until I see the regulars, until I see them playing consistently, and then I will go from there. But it is far too early to make shouts of changing everything, getting rid of everyone, moving on from Allegri already. Just calma, calma. Let's wait and see. The regulars will be back in full. It starts with Malmo, and then we'll have Milan, another big matchup. Let's see. because honestly, I think we were all very, very happy with the first half that we saw yesterday. The problem became how thin our lineup was yesterday. And that ended up biting us, and the guys got gassed with that game plan. It's a very, very strenuous game plan to try and play a full half with, let alone a full 90. In the second half, we just got pinned and we could not get out of it. And that's where some of these guys that are not at the quality where I think we should be at in terms of players playing for Juventus started to suffer, especially in possession. But again, the options started to become lost, and they become lost because there's no gas in the tank and they're not getting to the positions they need to be an option for the ball carrier. So let's just all relax in the aftermath of this loss. Take it as it is. 1 point out of 9. We've had terrible, terrible starts before, and Allegri's teams are notorious slow starters. Do not throw in the towel yet. I am not ready to throw in the towel. It's fino alla fine for a damn reason. Okay, let's wait till we get the regulars back. They'll have a point to prove. And Chiellini's words, you know, saying these guys are difference makers, whether we feel he maybe shouldn't have singled out DeShilio or whatnot, regardless of the fact, he's not saying anything that isn't true. And if anything, that should light a fire amongst the players. I don't think it's going to hurt team morale. I think it's just a reality of the fact that, hey, we can't be always relying on these guys. And that should be the message. And everybody else needs to step it up and get their game going to where it needs to be. So those are my thoughts on the aftermath to the loss of Napoli a day after, once the emotions have cooled. But of course, I love hearing from you, Juventini. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me hear your thoughts and how you feel a day after. And again, relax, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And of course, we're going to get ready for Malmo in the first group stage match of Champions League. Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Ciao.